Greetings, Earthlings. Oh, let's see what the Entropy gods have in store for us today. See the big mineral spot over there? Gonna have to plan around that. Actually, pre-mazed because you're gonna go there around and TP. So right onto the slow, and just like that, that'll be 3 passes already. That will not be 3 passes because I would ruin the TP. Actually, it's 4 passes. Sweet. Nice little plus 80 there. I don't think that's going to be slow enough to bother with. And so you have the slow zone. Let's pretend this slow zone was like 32%. We're really, really super slow. You're only going to have 5 lings there. So you might still have an issue making that work. So the ling count, sometimes, I mean, if it was just, I've seen games where it's just 1 or 2 guys running the entire time. If there's only 2 guys, then your splash, let's say you're taking regular splash, would be, I think it's 1.15. So you'd be doing 2.3 damage while it's in the slow, versus out here you're going to be able to do more damage for a longer period of time. So sometimes the slow isn't slow enough, or there isn't enough things running to make it work. Looks like we got plenty here. Alright. I do not believe that'll get... That should get all the passes. Oh, let's see who's in the game. There's a bunch of names I did not recognize. A bunch of folks under 100 games. Oh. So, you got to be careful with speed zones and TPs. It glitched out. I don't know how that works. They come around this corner. You can see the line clearly goes through the square that the TP is on. But when they come around that, they turn and hug real shallow, but then on the way back they hit it. So that is called a back TP. That is a big make me puke type thing. You gotta fix that. Lost 2 mineral passes for no reason at all. Over here anyways. Can you get 3 of them on there? Actually, that is 3 of them, isn't it? 80, and... That's stuck. The question becomes what tower, and actually you can bend this up. You can kind of run up and back down here, I think, at some point. So we're going to have to fix that. We do have a super cheap rock break if we want it. That's what I mean. That. Let's watch the slow house. So it's really, I mean, it helps, but it isn't game changing as far as where you need to build. It is a 6% speed. So I think eventually you're going to end up doing this. A couple of 1x1s here and build up. Just to get all the time we can get on our... Oops. That was almost really bad. Now it becomes what tower? Can you do well enough? No. The antisocial gotta be. Do you just go HD? Trigger might be fun. Oh hells, let's try it, right? I think trigger's probably suicide. Ranges are cheap. You're gonna be able to shoot for a while. Guess you could blow this rock and go out and around. So if you do trigger, you're gonna be missing basically from here to there on that first pass. Your tower won't be on. It's my favorite tower, so I kind of feel like I have to. Might be suicide, but can't quite. Trying to make a little loop right there, but I can't quite make it fit. That worked out well. So this wave, once you get turned on, once you get the trigger firing, you should be okay for most of it. It looks like I'm going to lose 2. I think about right there, and losing that much length. Not ideal, but not the end of the world either. And this can actually go up one higher. Supply depots are cheap, so you're going to extend for days and days and days eventually. Eventually there'll be a supply depot there. That'll... Now I'm not turning the tower on. Figure out where the best use of the towers are. And I could theoretically you build up and around, but then you don't get turned on heading this direction. Had I not done trigger, that would be possible. And you want to be micromanaging because of their evolve. Means they start with ridiculously low hit points. So you could be doing the same amount of damage and way less kills if you're not telling it which ones to kill. See if we can get up here and watch the hit points. They're all at 216 at the moment. If you're always hitting the first one, you can end up several thousand higher than your others. 425 and the rest are 216. So it does scale really, really, really fast. So late game when you're getting 30, 40, 50 kills, they end up with several thousand hit points, and it just becomes pretty much impossible to kill them. Nothing I can do spacing wise. I can come over, but it's not going to do anything for me. So right there, we did virtually the same damage, but I have 6 more kills, so it tells me he did not micro as efficiently as I did. So what do we got here? Whoa, what in the world is that? Oh, he left. I was gonna say somebody didn't know what they were doing there. Take a look over here. He's got the same thing going. So he's looped in the wrong part. What has he got going on? Melee. Melee with 5. Good luck with that. He will be ridiculously strong on the next wave, though. So I would be surprised if I do not get obliterated on antisocial. Psychosocial? Anybody? Anybody else? Psychosocial? I'm looking for where. Can't really stretch that out. I don't know if I did there. Brought him this way, but then I'd be out of range for too long, I think. So I think for now I just max my tower speed and take what I can get. This will be the wave, though. If Domi he should be a lot stronger here. He's got it close to maze correctly. You'd want it on a diagonal so that they start here and run all the way around the outside edge. So it'd be just for this wave. Every other wave you want to pass one side, get everybody passed on the right side, and then come back on the other side. So he's got a very inefficiently mazed melee there. And you can see it's just barely beating me, so I feel good. He's got 2 passes yet, and I've got... He takes his passes at a different time, but we end up at about the same length, I think. But like I was saying, I expected to get obliterated there, and I did. But with that cheap range, eventually I'm going to loop in stuff that he can't do. So I'm going to be able to break that rock and run around, and that'll create a lot of length for me. It'll only help going toward the odd points. It won't help coming back. So maybe there's a different way of doing it. Think about if that rock wasn't there, you could build a loop here. You still can't get to the tower on the way back. So it is what it is, I think. I think I'm stuck. So he really shouldn't have issues, because melee's going to hit one at a time anyways. I don't understand why he did so poorly on kills last time. Relatively speaking. Because Mealy's going to hit one at a time. Maybe it just is always hitting the first one and it goes from the first one to the third one. So take a look. Yeah, see that? Watch his hit point, guys. Here. So, lot, little. So it alternates. The first one has 1,000. The next one has almost nothing. The third one has 1,000, or almost 1,000. So every other one, because it's not mazed right, he's giving away tons and tons and tons of kills. And because I am not watching my guys, I'm giving away tons and tons and tons of kills. So whatever I lost on antisocial, I think I made up there. Well, I can actually save. Do that. Not sure that's any better or worse. I think as soon as I start expanding, Domi's gonna be falling behind because I just don't think 5 was ever gonna be enough. I have seen people win with melee with 6 lings before. But in this situation, I'm not sure it was ever gonna work. Even against like an HD or something like that. Rock break is cheap, right? Let's try it. I think, how does this need to be mazed? Gotta bring it up one more. Slide that over to make contact, close that off. Now I gotta seal this. I'm doing it now because my speed is maxed. Between being speed capped. Oh, anti fraudlings. You jerks. Took my money away from me. So, tweak the maze to make it work. Couldn't afford that anyways, right? Okay. That inside just to make sure 100%. So look at you got just roasted there. It should only get worse. I mean, he's gonna be really good on this wave. I don't think it's enough to win. I can actually build down here a little bit by doing this. I'll put a tower there. That slow is actually hurting. If that was another speed, that the front of the line might be able to make it back, at least on point 2. And I could expand enough to where I could hit here. That would maybe keep the tower on. By expand, I mean stretch the distance. Eventually, I'll be able to hit there if we play long enough. Not quite yet. last pass, it looks like we shut off. It's just that. That might be too far, so don't dare do that yet. Until I've bought the range ups I need to make it work. So now I think the HD might actually be better at this point. Because now I'm giving away all this length here on the way back from every checkpoint. And that looked a little weird when he hit the TP. Like if it shoots here and your guy runs through the TP, the bullet will go find them. So sometimes on distant ling, I'm not sure how it's meant to be said. But the one where you get a huge bonus, they look like kind of triceratops or not rhinoceroses. You get a huge bonus. You get a multiply based on how far away you are. So sometimes you can get just ridiculous. Imagine the map's really big, the TP's here, and the TP out is here. Well, your bullet shoots, and then it calculates based on where it hits, not the distance when it was fired. So I guess you want to be targeting things running away from you to get a little bit better than things running towards you. Kinetic has solid distance. He's got good maze length over there. Can't quite reach there yet. Kind of curious where, if we've crossed the threshold. If you look at the damage here, you've got 1.9 versus 245. So you're giving up, what is that, 25% damage. And losing, what is that, about 25% of my overall maze length. So I'd be losing this on the trigger that the HD can hit, and coming back I lose that because the trigger isn't turned on. Like there, the HD would be able to hit if they were swapped. So I think I'm getting away with taking trigger when it really should have been HD. But hey, dog breath. And I was expecting Kinetic to win that wave, which is fine. It's fraudulent. You can lose all your money. I will allow you to lose your money. That is not what I wanted to do. Stupid game. It looked a little scary for Kinetic early, but I think he's got at least second. I don't think he's a threat to me yet, but we shall see. Can't quite stay turned on there. Close. And this is definitely Domi's best wave. If you look here, when the first one gets out of range, the second one steps into range. So that's what I'm saying. Melee and anti-social can be really a lethal combination when done correctly. And what he's done there isn't horrible, but it's not optimized. He can do a little bit better than what he has. But for years and years and years, I didn't know either. I forget who it was that pointed that out to me. Like, no, when you have antisocial, you want to maze it differently. You don't want to have everything clear one side and then come back because of the timing, they overlap. When the guy comes back here, there's still something there, and it just doesn't work like you would think it does. Not seeing anywhere else we can create. We can come up one square, some 1x1s and stuff. That doesn't seem worthwhile. Bubble over there. That doesn't seem worthwhile. So I won't micro it. Well, it looks like I'm hitting the first guy and the fourth guy. He's already at 2,000 hit points. Now that your tower's doing a lot of damage, the evil evolution penalty is quite high now. Let's see here. 3,000, 1,000. Oh. 3,118. A lot of them are under 2, and he's at 3.5 already. HD can hit there just barely. I can help him out a little bit, I think. HD out. Suppose I can accomplish the same thing with a it shuts off going to finish anyways. Like it. Get speed cap, not quite. What in the world? He's trying to figure out which one of these is better. This one should be better because he's going to get that loop. Had he mazed sideways, it's kind of hard to get in there though from where he's got. And he could have gotten his 2 passes. That definitely should help out the HD. Being mazed that way. And sometimes when they do these little zigzags in here, in speed, watch them going the other way. They'll hit finish first, but they kind of run it. They hit that speed and they'll crash into that tower, then they'll crash into this one. They kind of look like they're dancing and going, glitching out a little bit. And sometimes you can steal an extra shot or 2. Just looking at shots. Remember, this one wasn't quite optimal yet. Didn't have all of the So Kinetic would beat Domi eventually, I think. Because he actually mazed. I guess he took HD, but I could be wrong. Ooh, notice that also kept my trigger shooting that way. That's a nice little bonus. Now I can compare shots to shots. So only worth 4 extra shots, but because it didn't shut off, and the HD will, or the trigger will shut off coming back from 3. So the HD gained a couple more, so it really, this length here really isn't worth anything, it looks like. Watch here. What are we at now? Plus 34 shots. 29 shots. Looks like it's worth about 5. And then on the way out, it gains a couple. Probably gains the same 5. What did he have? Bouncing. Bounce with that antisocial seems. I mean, it's probably so tightly mazed it didn't matter. How many ranges did he have? He had 5 range. Holy cow. So he could hit all the way over there. Whew. So even if I could hit here, the only thing it's going to help with is the antisocial. Pretty well mazed. He does have a problem getting that 3rd tower on there at the moment. I think you could fix that. Basically, you're giving up this little loop right here. You sell those 2, put your 3rd tower there. Call it good. 1 income, 5 range. Seems about right. And now we've expanded so far that the mazing advantage is trying to come into play. If I micro here, I should be able to end this game, maybe. It's a matter of time, sir. Oh. Tried. I can see him, so he can see me. I don't think he gave sight. So it does about 25. We're actually very close on damage, so math is straightforward. So if we look at it here, 50 more shots, but if you look carefully at the damage, I can't zoom in any farther. 72,000 versus 79,000. So the difference in damage, he has one more damage up, so I'm just going to ignore that for a second. The lost firing time isn't enough to counter out. And if they switch positions, it would probably be about equal. So whether you went trigger or HD there, it doesn't appear to have mattered. It's a big advantage on this particular wave here. Trigger's just so much fun when you can maze it correctly, although my maze is kind of jacked up. I wonder if there's something better you could have done. If I come in here, touch it, go around, then I would have to sneak up. Ugh. So, let's see. See if I can do this. See if it was possible to fix. No, because I fixed the way back, but now getting the first pass is messed up. I can't bring it turned on and then loop back. So melee or trigger is a lot of fun. When you get it right, you do have a huge damage advantage. 5 still isn't quite enough to get there. Take a look at it. Is that 7? Now, shoot, can't afford it. I was thinking toward here, something like that, forcing them in that way. But you can't quite reach. You're going to shut off. Ooh, can almost. So in that situation, I would suck that in like this. So I'm hitting. I know I'm hitting here. But the slow here now is going to make it so, because there's so few of them, this is more than 5 length, so it would have shut off anyway. So, and now we've really messed up our maze, but whatever's. Hopefully you learned something, and we will see you around. Take care.